Good morning. It's Monday, March 8th, and this is Dr. Bob Flower for the Master Pattern Report for the week. Well, last week we said there was going to be a move with the S&P, and we shorted them, as we said. Right range, wrong altitude. Our signal changed on Tuesday, and we got stopped out. And went long from that 1121, which we said we thought might be the top of the move. We are now looking at a top here of 1187. The master pattern, again, the fact that it is a good-sized move was right on target. It is our feeble human intelligence that failed us on the direction turnaround. We shorted the dollar, as we said, and we will continue for now. And with the news coming out recently about China and possibly upgrading the yuan, their currency, and dropping their peg to the dollar. That may bode strong for our move down. Interest rates were long, and the master pattern is showing more weakness in that area long term. In other words, that there's powerful forces at work to increase the interest rates is what we're saying. Now, I want to show you. I talked to you about showing you an incredible discovery that we made with the master pattern, with part of the master pattern. When I show you these charts, this is only a segment of the master pattern. It is not the master pattern. But let me just show you. Some of you might be familiar with this, and I'm going to hold this chart up here. Okay, and this chart, there are three different anchor points on this chart. On the left side of the smallest circle. We have discovered that that time, in accordance with the master pattern, is circular, it's spiral, and it goes from small to large to small again, sort of like corporate cornea in reverse, all right? And that there is a factor, time factor, relative to the price. And that factor is 1.40. So that when we take each one of the major points on the left side of this particular circle, you can see and measure it over 1.4 in degrees, it comes out to the exact bottom on this date, the exact bottom on this date, or I should say, yeah, exact bottom or turning point. And now it's at this point. So this is indicating, I mean, this is not only a fabulous discovery, but it's also indicating change points in the securities. This happens to be silver, by the way. So we may well be looking at a top for silver at this point. I don't know. I have not charted an additional future cycle yet. This one ends today and tomorrow. So between today and tomorrow, we should see something going on with silver that will either reverse its trend down, or from this point start to another level of ascension. Okay, we're going to keep an eye on this. This is fabulous, folks. This has been working for the S&P and for interest rates as well. All right. Major breakthrough on this whole technology with the master pattern. All right. By the way, with the S&P, we we are now looking at a top of 1187. I don't know if I mentioned that to you, but yes, that may be the highest point at which we're going on this move, and then who knows where we're going from here. Okay, so let's move on here. Socioeconomically, we're working diligently on our model for bailing out this financial mess that we're in. We're accelerating our efforts on the plan, and we should be ready with this thing hopefully by April 15th. I've really had to put in a lot of time and effort on this to accelerate because of the way things are turning here so rapidly. Now, insofar as our government is concerned, the new governance model is becoming more and more clear to many. Some people didn't like the capitalistic dictatorship title that I put on it last week, such as China and where Russia is heading. So I guess we'll call it a governmental capitalism. All right. This is where the workers and the government will dictate direction. I mean, just the ones that we want to advance economic factors and economies and societies, right? And as an example, the latest intelligence on reconciliation. They're talking about tying another bill to this reconciliation for non-profit student loans. Banks or others would not be able to lend to students, just the Department of Education. Why? Because they say it will take the profit motive out of it so it's cheaper. Don't do anything about making college cheaper, making borrowing the money for college cheaper. I mean, my God, what's next? No private ice cream or pizza because it costs too much? We're going to have to go to the government stores? I mean, this is ridiculous. But we have something more important to talk to you about that today, and that's Congressman Democrat Dominic Massa from upstate New York, who has made public claims that Rahm Emanuel came after him in the shower, in the congressional showers, and threatened him to change his vote on health care. Otherwise, he'd make life miserable for him, which he has, and told, in effect, that he was going to resign. But now the question is up in the air as to whether or not he will resign. They threatened to get rid of him by some sort of either false allegation or allegation that was blown out of proportion. And I guess it's going to come down to his word against Rahm Emanuel. And I know everybody believes Rahm Emanuel, right? But in any event, we haven't heard anything back yet. Official announcements from either from the government, from either Congress, Nancy, or the White House. But it's going to be interesting to see what happens here, folks. This is change, but not the kind that we voted for. More interesting stuff to come next week. Have a great week, folks.